Welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. And you can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments during the show, we'd love to hear them. Use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. You can also check out the website over at refreshcomputers.net or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to our show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, to the men themselves, David Leavitt and Adam Littlefield.
All right. Thanks, Greg, and thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. Adam, welcome back. It's been a few weeks.
It has been, yeah. Things have been a little busy the last couple of weeks at the store.
We've missed you. I mean, you haven't been away. You've been working in the store because it's just been so
busy,
hectic,
busy.
You know, which is a good thing. So it's not a good thing that you're not on the show, though. We kind of miss you. So, if you haven't figured this out by hearing me talk about Adam in the past, Adam puts together the show notes for the show and what we're going to talk about every week, even when he's not here.
That's an important aspect to the show. Notes to the show are very important.
That's right.
And sometimes we don't even go with the full notes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just go off on a little bit of a tangent. Right?
That's the nice thing with doing it the way we do, is just we can free flow talk.
That's right, and that's the way I love to do the show. So anyhow, today we're going to talk about a new alert system that was put out by the state of Florida and by Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. It was in the news, and the DOEA, Department of Elder Affairs, Secretary Michelle Branham. And this new program is there to help seniors be alerted about possible scams. And we all know there's a lot of those going around. And I think a lot of us know that older adults are targets of these scams quite often. And so the name of the program is called Operation Senior Shield. And it helps recognize red flags and protect your personal information and remain confident in your safety. So that's the tagline from them. So you can go to, and the only thing I don't like about this program, we mentioned, we were just chatting about it.
We were just discussing this.
Is the name of the website. It's terrible. And Jay Collins, maybe it's too late. I don't know if you're listening. The name of the website sounds like a scam itself. So that
could be an issue.
Yeah, be an issue for people to want to sign up. But the name of the website, the legit name is OP Senior ShieldFL.com. So, and this is a state, it's got a state logo on it and everything else when you go to this website. And so, it looks legit. It is legit when you get there. You can see it. But since it's being sponsored by the state of Florida, should have been a .gov.
Yeah.
Something that would make it sound, less scammy.
.gov is a really hard handle to get on a domain for something that's a scam. It is almost impossible.
It is.
So
and they could have done it. But maybe they're in a bit of a rush. It's easier to get a .com.
Yeah. Anybody
can do it, and that's the problem with it also, because the scammers can do it as well. But that website, I'll just spell it out. It's OPSENIORSHIELDFL.com. And you can go to that website and sign up for alerts, basically the latest scams that are coming out, right? So,
and they give you a few options too. So you can get text messaging alerts letting you know of the newest scams that are out there. Things like Amazon delivery announcements, or the U.S. Post Office has something that you need to come pick up or sign for, but you have to pay for it first. Those kinds of things that you see that come through your text messages. You can get an alert from this program that'll let you know about any of those new ones. You can get an email, or they even offer an option where you'll receive a telephone call, where they'll explain over the phone what those texts are. I'm imagining it's a automated call that just kind of breaks everything down over however long they allot for that. But a couple of different options for you. It's all on that form if you head over to that website.
Yeah, and this isn't just exclusive to seniors either. Say you have a loved one that you take care of, and you want to take care of them and protect them from these scams. The form actually does have an option for ages, I think, down to 19 and under. So you can sign yourself up for alerts, so you can kind of keep your family updated too.
Yeah, well, yeah. And so, it's targeted for seniors, but anybody can use it. So you don't have to be a senior to use it. And I guess that's a great point, Adam.
Some of these schemes have gotten so sophisticated too. Like
they
recently,
are.
we've had so many issues with the toll pass alerts that have been coming through.
That's right.
A lot of people were falling for that one, so much so that the state had to make multiple statements. They reached out to us as media affiliates to let people know these are scams. We will never ask for you to pay in this form.
Yeah.
And again, they were very advanced and very sophisticated. They seem to have found who was the culprit in those. It seems to have been a Chinese think tank that had taken over some of these sites
so many
like
of
this.
them are.
Wow.
And again, so they become very sophisticated, tricking people outside of just that elder group, targeting a wide range of people.
Yeah.
Well, that was going on, and I haven't gotten one of those. I mean, I think everybody I know of got those texts.
I got multiple.
Yeah, I did too.
I got several of them. And so, sooner or later, it just runs its course anyway, and everybody's figured it out, and so it doesn't work anymore. But one that's really kind of prevalent now is Amazon delivery.
Yeah, with the holiday season, everybody using Amazon as just one of the biggest outlets for, any sort of gift giving. These Amazon texts are coming in that are saying, your package has been delayed. Please click here to resolve or something along the lines of that.
And they look really legit.
They do, yeah.
It looks like it comes from Amazon. So, and because, these scammers, they know just about everybody is getting stuff from Amazon these days. So,
Yeah.
It's easy to target people that way because so many people use it. They're going to snag a lot of people that way. And I would just say, never click on anything in a text unless you requested it.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you just requested it and got a response back. Don't click on anything in a text because, your iPhone or your Android phone, as advanced as they are, and the likelihood of people being able to get access to your data on your phone is they're getting better and better with the security. But just like a computer, there is nothing Apple can do or Google or Microsoft or Refresh Computers if you click on something in an email or a text
And say allow.
And
if
allow
you click on that allow button, it opens up the
There's
floodgates.
Nothing because it's assuming you want to go there, and that's why it goes there. And then when it does, boy, that's when you really get hit. So you got to just be careful. I mean, we preach this all the time. Don't respond to any emails that you're not familiar with. Go ahead and if you have Gmail, they're real easy to report as spam. Just report them as spam, so they, hopefully you don't get more of them. And just be careful. Don't click on those things. And if you did, and you're wondering, oh my gosh, did I just screw up? Give us a call. We have a free tech support hotline. That's 407-478-8200. Adam, how many calls per day do we field for people just asking?
Like 50 to 100 a day, just asking just generalized questions, almost about anything. But scams lately have been big ones.
They're the big ones, yeah. So so we get a lot of calls from people that, oh my gosh, I clicked on something I think I shouldn't have. Because now my computer is doing this or that.
Sometimes we can even hear it in the background, a loud beeping or do not turn your computer off, like really robotic voice.
Yep.
So.
And so, if you ever get a message that says, do not turn your computer off.
Turn it off.
Just unplug it.
Immediately turn it off.
Remove power. Don't, even sometimes clicking on something you think is going to close, if they can trick you into clicking on a link, they can also trick you into clicking on that X that you're thinking that you're closing something, and you're not.
A lot of these scams now actually prey on fear. They try to make you scared, saying, oh, all your files will be deleted, or if you don't respond to this within like 7 days, you'll be imprisoned and a arrest warrant will be put out. Just they generalize fear now to more than anything, and that's a lot of these scams now, like the Amazon ones. They'll give you that link, you click on it. It won't ask you maybe to download something, but it'll ask you to fill out some information, your name, phone number, email, maybe your Amazon password. I've seen ones as bold to ask for your social security number before.
Oh my gosh.
They do it. And that's the problem is, there's information that we sometimes feel willingly to give out because it feels like there's an emergency behind it.
That's right. Yeah. There's a sense of urgency, and they put that sense of urgency in there, so you take action.
Yeah.
And it used to be easy to find the little details that called these out as scams, misspelled words, weird addresses. But
the grammar was always horrible, too.
Right. The grammar was always off. Something like that, almost to a comical level at some point. But in recent years, you've seen that change a lot. I think you're seeing, again, we talk about AI a lot here on the show, and AI has become so prevalent, not just for us to use as the good guys, as the good people that are trying to help you out, but also for the bad guys, too.
Yeah, those people in China or Pakistan or wherever they are, doing these scams, and they're using AI now, like you said, Greg, and they're using it to enhance their English writing skills to make it look more legit.
They're also doing AI voice calls. I know we've spoken about that before, about voice prints. Their AI has gotten better now at doing that.
It has. It can take your voice or any recorded voice at all and use it to do some. I mean, it sounds so real now. Yeah, like the conversation we're having. And it'll even have a conversation with you in somebody else's voice now. That is not that person, but you think it is because it sounds just like them. So you got to be real careful with what you're doing out there these days. That's for sure. So again, that site is opseniorshieldfl.com, and what that site will do is allow you to sign up to receive text messages, emails, or even phone calls, right, Greg?
That's right.
Right.
To alert you of the latest scams that are happening like right now. So it's set up for seniors, but when you go to the website, you'll see that they'll let anybody sign up. You don't have to be a senior to sign up for this. And I would say if for the people that are less technical or just don't feel comfortable about or wondering about the security of their computer or their phones and stuff like that, go ahead and sign up for it. I think it's a really good program. It's just the website name sucks. That's all. Should be a better website name.
The optics on it aren't as good, but the message is there. They're looking out for just senior citizens now because scams with AI, they're getting more and more intricate. Now, I even believe the Senior Shield website lists a couple of the different types of common scams, and one of them is a grandparent scam, where they get a call from someone that sounds like their grandchild asking for money. Oh, I'm on the side of the road. I'm in jail. I need money. Just something as simple as that.
It sounds just like their grandchild.
It does.
Because, the AI was able to go in, and all they need is their voice print. So we talked about this, Greg, a year or two ago about voice prints and being careful about that. And, there's places like, for example, Chase Bank. They still using voice prints as a way to be able to log into your account and sign into your account on your phone. That's terrible. Chase Bank, stop it, because AI is here, and these voice prints can trick it. Now, of course, you need more than your voice to get into your Chase account. So it's not, but they do use it as a check to see who you are. But if you happen to be somebody that has that information and can use your voice print. Because voice prints are like fingerprints. They're all unique. We all have a unique tone. I was
going to say, it makes me think back to the older spy movies where they'd take someone's thumb and put it on a computer, and then it just scans their thumb, and now they have their whole thumbprint that they can put throughout this whole place that they're trying to break into.
So, now they can do that with
your voice.
With voices. So it's something to watch out for. So, folks, this show is repeated in a podcast form. So it usually comes out around 3 p.m. or so on Saturdays. So if you want to subscribe or you want to listen to this show in its entirety, go to refreshcomputers.net, click on that podcast link on the top of the page there, and you'll be able to hear this show without commercials. It's about 40 minutes long. And that way, if you miss something, it's easy for you to catch up right there on the website.
And again, remember, that's Operation Senior Shield that we've been talking about, that free alert system here to keep you secure from those scams going on here during the holiday season. If you have any more questions about that, go ahead and head over to opseniorshieldfl.com. You're listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Hey there, and welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can, of course, contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments during the show, we'd love to hear them. Use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. And thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. During the first part of the show, we talked a lot about opseniorshieldfl.com, which is a website that you can go to and sign up for text alerts or email alerts or phone call alerts concerning the latest scams out there that are mostly targeted to seniors, but you don't have to be a senior to sign up there.
No.
So, and if you missed any of that, you can go to our website at refreshcomputers.net, click on that podcast link at the top of the page, and you'll be able to listen to this show in its entirety. And if you want to be emailed to remind you that the podcast is out there, you can go to the bottom of any of our pages and sign up for email alerts. And when you sign up for the emails, you'll typically get 2 emails a week. Yep. So one email is going to be a link to the show, the latest show that we do. We send that out usually Saturdays around 3 p.m. And the other email will be Monday mornings at 7 a.m. And that email will list all the great deals coming up that week. So you don't want to miss those either. So go to refreshcomputers.net. Again, at the bottom of any page, there's a place right there. All you got to do is enter your email address and click enter. And then you will be automatically signed up to be part of we call it the Refresh Insider Club. So you'll be an insider at Refresh Computers, be the first to know about deals and stuff going on. Because again, that comes out every Monday morning at 7 a.m. And you'll get notified of the podcast that is the radio show in podcast form. So, last week we talked a lot about the prices of computers going up. And I said, and I predicted that that they're going to go up, right?
Yeah.
Because of the memory shortage that we talked about in detail last week. And so we're going to talk about this in more detail after the news break. But Dell, HP, and Lenovo.
The big three.
The big three. What did they just do, Adam?
20% increase on pretty much all of their systems. That's desktop computers, laptops, even their server grade hardware. 20% increases, 15 to 20%.
And what reason did they list for increasing the price?
Well, wouldn't you guess it? RAM shortages.
Yes. So, it's coming. I mean, and it's going to be more than that. So they're not the only ones increasing their prices on stuff. So heck, Adam, you said Xbox, right?
Especially with the holiday season coming up. Anybody that's got kids that want, maybe the newest Xbox, that increased this year alone from $500 up to $650.
So it's already increased.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's gonna be increasing. It's
no, that's what they're ending the year on. But with how the RAM shortages might be looking going into next year, we don't even know what the price could change to next.
Well, and I predict, I also predict that it's going to be more than a RAM shortage.
Yeah.
It's going to be a RAM outage. It's just going to run out.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be accessible to everyday consumers. That's where we're heading.
I believe we're in the panic stage right now, where everybody's going to start buying stockpiles of it.
Yeah, well, everybody is.
Even Sony did that beginning of this year. They stockpiled a bunch of RAM.
Did.
That's why their prices haven't gone up compared to Microsoft's Xbox. So, yeah, definitely the RAM shortage. I think next year we're going to see a whole halt on probably consumer
purchases of RAM.
Yeah.
That just won't be available. I mean, we'll get into even more detail about that, because there's some factories that are shutting down
Yeah.
their memory production because they can't get the materials to make it.
And that's something that we've talked about in multiple episodes here coming up, leading into this. But we'll get much more in depth in this conversation here coming up after the break. You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any other comments during the show, like maybe you fell victim to one of these scams we talked about earlier, use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. We'd love to hear about your experience. You can also check out the website over at refreshcomputers.net or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open till 7 p.m. today. And now, David Leavitt and Adam Littlefield.
All right. Thanks, Greg, and thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. So, in this segment, we're talking about, we're picking up where we left off before the news, and that is about the RAM shortage again. This is like the third week in a row. This is, we've been talking about this because it's changing. It's progressing.
It's snowballing.
And it is snowballing, just like I predicted.
Yeah.
And, you look at the three big computer manufacturers, the three biggest, or, HP, Lenovo, and Dell. And they all just announced 20% increases in their computer and laptop prices, and that's because of the increased cost of RAM to them.
Yeah.
That they put in the system. We also talked about the fact that, not only is there a shortage, I predict there's going to be an outage, probably early next year sometime. There's going to be get to a point where if you want to buy RAM to increase the RAM capacity in your current computer or laptop, you're not going to be able to buy it because it just won't be there to buy, because they're going to save all this RAM for, the data centers are the ones using it all up. But the factory or the manufacturers who can get their hands on it are just going to be putting it in their computers. And so they're going to be, so it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, if not impossible, to find RAM to upgrade your computer. Now, what about solid state drives? So kind of a similar path. They use a little bit different style, different type of memory chip in the solid state drives, but they are also affected, not to the degree that RAM is affected right now, because it's the RAM that is the most sought after type of RAM that's used by all these data centers. But solid state drive are also increasing like crazy. I mean, so they're not going up as fast as RAM is, but they are going up too. So, if you're thinking about, or you need to upgrade your memory in your computer or laptop or your solid state drive, if you want to increase that capacity, now might be a good time to do it. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, we just at Refresh Computers, we stopped selling RAM ourselves to people just to buy RAM, because what's happening is, I foresaw the RAM shortage. We've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So guess what I did? I stocked up on as much RAM as I could stock up on, just like I stocked up on as many computers as, we've been talking now for a few weeks. We've had more computers in the store than we've ever had, by a ton. And the reason is Dave here could see what's going on, what's happening. And it's like, well, what can I do to help prevent us from, having to increase prices tremendously? And so I stocked up on as many computers and laptop as I can get my hands on, basically. And so we have lots and lots and lots of stock there at Refresh Computers, and our prices should be able to remain pretty consistent for the next few months. After that, I don't know, but
we have to see how the beginning of next year looks, I think, for how RAM is going right now.
So, so just for that example, I mean, I don't hate me for it, but gosh, we have to save the RAM for the computers that we're selling. So we can't just sell the RAM out over the counter. We just stop that. Yeah. And you're going to be seeing that in other retailers happening very soon as well.
One of the major parts right now, actually, because of this, is we were talking about this is a manufacturing issue. There is so much demand, and we're going to see to the point where there can't be so much made. one of the main names of RAM development, of SSD development, just closed down their entire consumer-facing product. Micron, they ran Crucial memory, Crucial for storage. They just entirely axed that consumer-facing part of it. But they are no longer selling to consumer, only directly to AI data centers.
That's right. And so another reason why retail stores will probably run out and not even just sell it.
Yeah.
Not sell it directly over the counter anymore, because people will go into a retail store today and buy a RAM stick for $60 and then wait 2 weeks and sell it for $90.
Yeah.
I mean, and we understand this is what is going on, and so there's very enterprising people out there, and I can't blame them, right? It says, hey,
a graphics card I saw actually, one that I had recently purchased. The graphics cards have RAM on them, just like RAM sticks, and this graphics card a couple weeks ago was about $1,100. Now it's almost $1,500.
Yeah,
just because of these price surges. So everything is getting worse, and with Micron now pulling out too. With Crucial, that only leaves 2 brands to make the entire world's supply of RAM and solid state storage, and that's Samsung and SK Hynix. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, well, SK Hynix, speaking of them, I mean, between them and Samsung, they control the vast majority of the RAM market.
70%, right? I think, 70% overall.
Between those 2 companies. And so SK Hynix, their 32 gig RAM kit. So you say you want to buy a over-the-counter 32 gig RAM kit.
Yeah,
the retail price, right?
They used to be pretty cheap on it.
It was $90.
Yeah,
a few months ago. And guess how much it is now?
No, so I think it's over $300 now, if I remember correctly.
$310.
Yeah,
the same $90 32 gig RAM up kit is now $310. That's 245% increase.
Yeah,
and again, you can still get it today, but tomorrow, next week, next month, I don't know. I think it's going to run out.
You don't know if you're going to see $400, $500 or just, out of stock. Because like you said, if we get to the point now where demand is to the point where we can't produce enough anymore, there's going to have to be a cutoff point. And unfortunately, the first cutoff point will be the consumer level.
And one thing you can do is, to help combat the increased prices from the new machines is look at refurbished computers, like at Refresh Computers. I mean, we have tons of inventory. If you go to refreshcomputers.net, you can check it all out right there. And if it's on the website, we have it in stock. So, you can actually buy on the website right there and pick and choose to pick up in the store later or have it shipped anywhere in the continental USA. We can do that for you as well. And so, looking for a good quality refurbished computer. I mean, we have refurbished computers starting and around a couple $100 range, and they go way up because we have some really high-end, really nice machines, a lot more high-end machines than we used to have, very current models too, refurbished professionally by Refresh Computers and at a great price. So and I'm chuckling at one of the show notes I'm reading here, Adam, about Apple.
Yes, I was just about to bring them into the mix because we've said the big 3 names for Windows PCs. But, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, what is Apple doing? Because Apple makes computers too. And Apple is doing nothing right now, actually. They don't have any price increases that they're talking about. But, I mean, if you go look at their newest MacBook now, it's $200 to add an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM to that laptop.
Well, and it was $200 3 months ago before the RAM shorted. So, basically...
At least they're consistent.
At least they're consistent. Yeah, I mean, because Apple's always way overcharged.
Oh, yeah.
For their RAM upgrades and their solid state drive upgrades, too. They were like, so much more expensive.
Well, even just for their machines overall, they've always been so much more expensive.
Yeah, they have been.
With all these increases in all these other prices for these other PC manufacturers, and you said there's no increase in Apple. So where are we coming at to a tipping point where Apple is on par now?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
possibly, or and it's Apple will be increasing their prices because that they won't be able to sustain this they could sustain it. Instead of making a ton of money, they're making a half a ton of money. All right, so because they just haven't increased their prices. But it is costing them more money, too. So
it makes me wonder kind of what their profit margins looked like months ago before there was this RAM panic, where they're charging $200 for this upgrade now. Because with the shortage coming up, their cost of material has to be going up too.
It is.
But they're not raising prices. So what is their point of profit that they start tapering off before they have to increase their price? Because they're almost looking like the budget-friendly option to me now, with them not increasing their prices compared to almost anybody else in the computer market.
Well, and, and if you've listened to me talk about Apple, that they're not my favorite manufacturer.
Yeah.
Also, because they're cheap. I mean, they charge so much. Sure, they great graphics. They're known for that, and it looks nice. It looks sharp. But the quality of the build on their new MacBooks and even their new iMacs now, plasticky.
Yeah.
The quality of the build is horrible. I mean, just horrible. And to be able to, you can't even upgrade them because they solder everything on now.
I was going to say, everything's soldered. It's not upgradable or repairable. That's something I always stress with Apple, is the repairability of their devices is almost nothing compared to, a Dell or an HP computer.
And, just to get the screen off of an iMac is
it's a pain.
Like performing surgery.
It is,
It's very delicate. It's not easy. I mean, we do it. We have a person that's probably the best Mac specialist in Central Florida, if not the whole state, if not the whole country. And he's been working for me for many, many, many years. And I'll throw out his first name is Norwell.
Yeah.
So, and he has his own office. He has his own tools.
Oh.
He has his own, not his own tools. I mean, I pay for his tools, but it's tools that I pay for that only he can use.
It's his exclusive tools. And he's got some big tools, too. They're around there now. Some
pricey,
large
sounds
ones.
like an Apple guy.
Pricey tools. I mean, I can't even think of the name of some of these tools he's had me spend a lot of money on this in order to be able to do, microscopic repairs on things. And the heat flow machine that uses
the reflow machine.
The reflow machine that actually uses infrared to heat up tiny little solder points on motherboards, and in order to remove a little tiny chip or something. And he's got his big. It's almost like a big microscope. It's like one of these magnifying lighted lenses. If you happen to look like from the other side, you probably see like this giant eyeball, right? He uses that thing to look at these boards, and he just does a great job. If you need Mac work, we're the place for that.
Yeah, we get references from the Apple Store for devices that they can't repair.
That's a big deal.
They send
people over to us, often.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things that we do on MacBooks is screen replacements, right,
Yes.
on the MacBook. That the Apple Store today, they don't want to touch them anymore for screen replacements. I don't know why, but I do know why. It's difficult,
right? Yeah.
And it's difficult to keep. Imagine having to train people to surgically remove. To be able to train enough people for all the Apple stores in the country.
Mm-hmm. And I've been in an Apple store, and they are the busiest store in the mall every day.
They are very busy all the time, but to train somebody, well, first of all, they don't even do that kind of repair in their stores anymore. No. They ship them off to a regional place, but still, it could be nerve-wracking. To fix one of those.
It's almost like working on like a Surface, like a Microsoft Surface. Those devices,
too.
you are, I believe, a couple like force into that computer away from destroying the whole screen, trying to just access it. And Macs are kind of the same thing. I know Norwell told me actually that with Mac screens now, you almost have to use fishing wire to be able to get in between the body and the screen.
Because of the glue.
Because of the glue, how strong it holds on there. You're not prying that off with something thinner or something thicker than fishing wire.
And then just think about this, though. You have to glue it back on.
Exactly. And it has to cure. It's not something you just stick on there and just, it's good to go. You have to tape it there. It has to be held for at least 24 hours.
Yeah. And I think he has a special machine for that, too. And he's just... so anyway, we do really great work on Apples. If you need any assistance with that, it's the same phone number, our free tech support hotline, which is 407-478-8200. And folks, if you missed any of the show, please be sure to go to the website. You can listen to it in its entirety in podcast form. Go to refreshcomputers.net. Click on that podcast link at the top of the page. You can hear this whole show.
We'll have a recap on some of those RAM concerns coming up after the break. You've been listening to Tech Talk right here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's News and Talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Leavitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. And you can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. You can also check out their website over at refreshcomputers.net. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. I'm David Leavitt, the owner and founder of Refresh Computers. Been in Central Florida now. It'll be 26 years next month, Greg. So
wow.
Been a while. Quarter century right here. More than a quarter century right here in Central Florida. And just so proud to be able to be around that long. You know, it's tough running retail and service places, and you see mom and pop computer stores come and go all the time, and we've certainly seen it. But we're no mom and pop, that's for sure. Come on into our store. If you've never been to our store, we invite you. Come on over. Ask to speak to me, to say hello. Say, hey, go get Dave. I'm usually in the back, not in the front, but you can ask for me, and I'll come out and be glad to meet you. Hey, I might even have a $25 gift card for you to Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, there you go.
Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, come on in.
Get some yeast rolls.
I carry a couple of those in my pocket. That You
carry the yeast rolls with you in your pocket?
No, I wish I could. Man.
Oh, that'd be great to have their rolls around all the time.
Those are so great.
They are.
With the honey butter.
Oh,
with the honey butter. Oh man,
I love Texas Roadhouse.
Same.
I love it. So I bought up a whole bunch of $25 gift cards to give out to customers. So, if I'm not there, you can't get one. So I'm sorry, and I can't tell you when I'm going to be there. Mm-hmm. So if you come in and I'm not there, so don't come there just for that, because if you do, I don't want you to get disappointed that you. But if I am there and you ask for it, I'll have them I usually carry some in my pocket. I'll walk around the store and I look for a really happy customer, somebody smiling all the time. I just see somebody smiling that just touches me. So I'll go over and introduce myself, throw them a $25 gift card, and say, here you go. Texas Roadhouse. Everybody loves Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good for any of them, but we encourage you to visit the one over there in Sanford, because they're the ones that I've been dealing with. So anyhow, we have so many computers. We talked about that in stock in the store. And we have a lot of gaming systems, more gaming systems than we've ever had. And why is that important now? It's important because gaming systems take a lot of memory, a lot of RAM.
Between a graphics card, between just the general RAM that you need to have in the computer to run. Yeah, it's an unbelievable amount.
A lot of RAM between the two sources there. And so we have, I don't know, a dozen or so on display right now. I know I have more coming in. And, they started at about $650 for our gaming computers, right? They're refurbished gaming computers, and they go up from there. But, we have the latest and greatest, too, right there. And so, come on over to Refresh Computers, and you can shop for them online, too. Go to refreshcomputers.net. A lot of these are, custom built by us. And so, when you see them on the website, very rare would you see like a quantity of 2 available of any of them. It's usually 1 by 1 by 1. So if you see one you like, I suggest snap it up right now. For Christmas. If you don't get it for somebody else, heck, get it for yourself.
And that's so often a barrier for people trying to get into PC gaming is the high cost of a new gaming PC compared to like a console game. Well, like you just mentioned, $650 to get in on it. To
get started with a gaming computer.
That's the same cost as a new Xbox.
Yeah. Most gaming computers, pre-built gaming computers right now, I believe, are starting around $1,400, and those are low-end gaming computers.
Very low-end.
Yeah.
And so, here's another thing a gaming computer is good for. You're a stock trader. You need split-second decisions. You need stuff going on. We get people buying the gaming computers for that.
They need 6 monitors hooked up to it. It can do it.
That's right. And architects and, and people that are rendering video.
Great for video and audio editing.
Yeah. The gaming computer moniker is such a misnomer. It doesn't make sense for it anymore.
I was going to say that. 'Cause, we actually had a guy come in and said, look, I want a computer to do this, and this. And so we said, okay, well, what you're talking about is one of these gaming computers. Oh, no, I don't want a gaming computer.
Yeah.
Well, no.
I'm not going to play games.
It's just called a gaming computer.
Yeah.
But look at all what it can do. It can do everything that you're asking for. Any of the other plain computers won't. Mm-hmm. So, if we build you one, guess what? It's going to be like a gaming computer, even though we don't have to call it that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, folks, we're out of time. Appreciate you listening. This is David Leavitt with Refresh Computers. Don't forget the free tech support hotline, 407-478-8200. We'll be talking to you again next week.